Today on Consumer Advantage News, crossing the border to buy prescription medicine. It can be cheaper, but is it safe? Many active sports require headgear. Find out which sports will adopt helmet use next. And before you pop the big question, you'll need the ring. Learn how you can find those perfect matching bands. And ever wonder why music and dance clubs all sounds the same? We'll tell you how DJs nationwide are pumping up the volume.
You're watching CAN TV, Consumer Advantage News. And now, John Bowman.
Hello, and welcome to Consumer Advantage News. What a show we've got for you from beautiful Denver International Airport. We're here at DIA because the champagne powder is flowing in the Colorado high country as the state's ski industry is in the midst of a record year for skiing and skier visits. Now, March is the third busiest month right here at DIA, and that means spring breakers and ski families are coming to Colorado for the final runs of the season. Now, as we get started, we're going to cover a lot of ground as we look at issues you've been telling us about on our interactive website. Without any further ado, here's this edition of Consumer Advantage News. Well, you've probably heard about people who buy prescriptions or over-the-counter drugs online. Can you do it safely? How can you tell if a website that sells medical products is even legitimate? Before using any medications for the first time, always consult with your physician. And before ordering drugs online, check with the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy to see if the company is registered. Never buy from a site that sells drugs not approved by the FDA. And don't buy without a physical exam or from sites that sell drugs without a prescription. And make sure the site has access to a registered pharmacist. Avoid foreign sites, as generally it is illegal to import drugs bought from these sites. It's risky, and the U.S. government can't help you if you get ripped off. Always beware of new cure sites, and be careful of those that claim their products are being suppressed. Always avoid sites that include undocumented case histories claiming amazing results.
I would caution people that are buying drugs over the internet without seeking the advice and prescription from their local physician to be very wary of doing that. And in fact, in Colorado, the medical board considers physicians licensed here who would provide that type of service to be practicing in a substandard way by doing so.
Now, for any questions about online pharmacies, visit the Board of Pharmacy website at www.nabp.com or your state's local medical board. Well, many Americans are heading south of the border to purchase prescription drugs, where savings can average 30 to 40%. But as CAN TV's Carlin Tilley explains, even though the drugs are cheap, there can be some risks involved if you buy drugs outside of the United States.
Dr. Daryl Williams works in San Elizario, Texas, just minutes from Mexico. Day after day, he gives out prescriptions to patients. But he knows most of the prescriptions he writes will end up in pharmacies across the border for two reasons.
Cost and availability.
For every patient Dr. Williams sees, there are others who attempt to play doctor themselves.
There's always a hazard of self-diagnosis. And you may think that you know the medication that you need, and in fact you may not.
But even if you ask for the right medication, there's no guarantee that you'll get it.
Sometimes you have to risk your life sometimes, because you don't know what kind of medication you get.
It's a problem that goes beyond the doctor's office and into the gym. Steroids that should also be prescribed by a doctor are easy to get without a doctor's approval in Mexico.
It's highly unregulated. There's no laws against it. So you're right here next to the border. You can go right across and get them from any pharmacy.
Here in Juarez, Mexico, the pharmacies are booming with business. But you don't have to live near the U.S.-Mexico border in order to get unregulated drugs. All you have to do is log on to the internet. When you click that mouse for drug savings, keep in mind that likely they're coming from pharmacies similar to the ones we visited in Mexico.
In Mexico, pharmacies are viewed more as a business, and so there's no specific licensure requirement. And so obviously the training and the educational background of many of the pharmacists is much less than here.
If it's a prescription of some sort, great, but over there you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Very dangerous.
It doesn't hurt to try and save money on prescriptions. Just make sure if you plan to order yours online, double check the prescription name with your doctor. Also, if the pills or instructions are different than what you ordered, send them back. Along the U.S.-Mexico border, Carlin Tilley, CAN TV.
Are you confused about all the Lasik eye surgery ads? Well, nationwide, there are hundreds of eye care clinics offering laser operations to improve your vision. Is there a difference between the procedures? Are any safer than others? There are hundreds of doctors performing LASIK eye repair. Nationwide, success rates for the sightful operations are good. Most quote a 98% success rate. Still, there are occasions where problems develop with excimer laser surgery.
So I think that one can be pretty confident that the risk of going blind from it is extremely small, the risk of having a severe problem is small, but it is finite in the sense that those things do happen. Now, there are many new techniques that you can do to correct problems, so I think the risks are small and one needs to evaluate it.
There were 846,000 laser eye operations performed in the United States in 1999, and last year that number jumped to 1.5 million, a 76% increase. Those numbers will continue to rise as more doctors become familiar with the surgical techniques. Coming up next, athletic helmets are growing in popularity. Find out which sports are beginning to use them. Also find out what systems are the best home fitness centers, and the latest fad in wedding planning is doing it online. But first, this is CAN TV. Thinking of joining a gym or even getting a home workout system? Well, Consumer Reports came out with their list of the 10 best home gyms, and the list reads like this. The ProForm 920. The $2,000 Soloflex is in at number 6. The Bowflex and the Schwinn 8100 are in the middle of the pack. Body Solid's EXM 1500, which is also listed as the best buy for some $700, is on the list. But the top-rated home gym is the Hoist Multi-Gym H210 at $1,700. Big sporting goods stores try to serve a wide variety of customers. Now, while they do a great job of offering something for everyone, that also means they probably don't specialize in any one thing, which leaves a great niche for smaller shops to fill. While the sales at big stores like REI's flagship store in Denver are brisk, what these shops really do is help you decide what kinds of activity you would like to participate in. Whether it's blading, kayaking, climbing, or biking, once you choose where your interests lie, then smaller specialty shops like this one pick up the baton to help you refine your skills and upgrade your gear.
So with technology, in our opinion, it takes knowledge and expertise in order to explain that. They bring a lot of people into the sport, and as they grow and mature and find that, wow, I want to have more fun at this, they tend to seek out the specialty stores that have the knowledge and the expertise.
You can give me an idea what the price is for the Araka.
As you get set for even more outdoor sports this spring, remember, the small specialty shops are a very neat alternative. And no matter what sports or activity you or your children get involved with, research indicates that to avoid serious head injuries or concussions, it's a good idea to protect yourself with the proper kind of headgear. CAN TV's Royston Michi tells us, in many cases, a helmet can save lives while making sports more enjoyable as well.
One of the most popular outdoor sports, skiing, is getting a new look. Helmets. They're not just a fashion statement. Ski and snowboard helmets are saving lives.
The helmets have shown a significant protective effect against brain injuries, against the risk of death from brain injury, and against not only the incidence of whether or not you get a head injury, but if you get a head injury, how severe is the head injury.
Head injuries that Travis Darmon knows only too well. Last week he wiped out while snowboarding, landing on his head.
I had a mild concussion and loss of memory from the accident, and over the last couple of days I've been gaining back my memory pretty steady.
Other sports, such as bicycling, have adopted helmet use for years. Nowadays, the trend is growing. So with all the different kinds of helmets, ranging in price from $50 to $100, which one should you buy? Well, different helmets are designed for different sports. Dr. Levy says if you injure your head while skiing, most likely the injury is going to be in the back or the side of your head. That's why a ski helmet is designed to protect these areas. So what does the doctor's research indicate?
We've had no fatalities among helmeted skiers or boarders.
Skiers and boarders alike are swearing by them.
I think you see a lot more people out there doing it, and I think I've seen a lot of people get hurt.
And I fell backwards so hard that I'm sure I would have hurt myself.
As for Travis Darmon, the guy who barely escaped serious injury, he's slowly regaining his senses. His advice for people hitting the slopes?
I would say if you can only afford a lift ticket or a helmet, buy the helmet and just go without riding for the day.
Hey, that's good advice coming from a guy who's lucky his fall didn't require brain surgery. In the Colorado Rockies, Royston Michi, CAN TV.
When we come back, buying the perfect wedding ring can be as easy as saying I do. Is there a top spot for couples to tie the knot these days? And find out how you can connect with CAN TV via our website.